like, wow, what an introduction. That just changed my whole speech that I prepared. But first and foremost, I want to thank God for giving me this opportunity and the Cal State San Bernardino for allowing me to come up and asking me to come up here and be the keynote speaker tonight. It's a huge honor and privilege. And I was telling some of the people here today, like, I never in a million years thought I'd be a keynote speaker at a Marine Corps Ball. You know, it's something that, you know, over the years that, and the many birthday balls that I've been to, you see a sergeant major, you see a colonel, you see a general, somebody who's been around the Marine Corps a while and has a high rank, really high rank. Like, I was a staff sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. I'm proud of it. And but to be here tonight is almost surreal, you know. And similar to the moment when I was asked to become the keynote speaker at my alma mater this year at Pacific High School, I never thought that would happen either. So, but I do need to thank God for all the opportunities He's given me to be able to speak in front of people. And the first thing I want to do tonight is actually have all the Marines stand up, please. And let's recognize these Marines. Now, continue to remain standing. I'm going to tell you about what these devil dogs have done and what they've gone through. There's young and there's old and there's those in between. But these gentlemen, I'm not sure if there's any females in here. If I don't see you, please forgive me. But these people in this room that are standing before you now have had the intestinal fortitude to step forward into a recruiter's office and sign their life away to give it for the freedom of this country. And for that, I thank all of you, my brothers and sisters who are standing before me, who will always be my brothers and sisters, for your service. Thank you very much. Please have a seat. And can I now have all the ladies stand, please? Everybody.
Yes. Asking for trouble.
Yes. I normally do. Yes. Even if you're looking around, yes, you too. Now, the reason I'm having all these ladies stand before us, gentlemen, is because we know that, for one, there's wives standing before us. There's mothers, daughters, sisters, friends that have been our support system, have been the founding, you know, of where love comes from in our lives. And without them, it's a very tough ride. And for you ladies that have supported your service member, thank you for getting all dolled up tonight. You look fabulous. You make this event worth coming to, and, like, you know, everybody likes seeing beautiful people, and you definitely are. You guys are beautiful tonight. I want to thank you for your support and for the time that you stood back with the family, with the kids, home, wondering if your service member is going to come back if they're ever overseas. For the times enduring that, you know, that were painful, you know, when things happen and your loved one wasn't there. Thank you for your support and for all that you've done for your service members. Please have a seat. Give them a round of applause. You know, I served 16 years, and a lot of people tell me, like, man, what are you doing? Why'd you get out? Well, I don't know. God works in mysterious ways, I'll tell you that. And my mom, being a really, really devout Catholic, I know she had been praying and praying and praying and praying, God, bring my son home. And things happened, you know. And here, after 16 years, with orders in hand, getting ready to go to Japan for my last tour, things happened and I came home. And but here I am. And I remember that day, August 15th, 2009. I looked up at the sky and said, God, only you know where I go. And I'm taking my orders and marching on. You lead my life, and I'm going where you send me. And I didn't know how I was going to get into politics, that's for sure. Because for one, I don't like politics. If you believe that or not, but I don't. And you know, hearing the bio and what I heard tonight said for me, like, wow, I guess I have done some things in the past, you know? And I'll quickly kind of go over my career and what I learned and try not to bore you guys too much with my stories, but the stories in the Marine Corps, man, there's some I can't tell here tonight, I'll tell you that. Because I learned some Japanese too. I'm not going to tell you what I learned, but come from the Tongan guy, some of you guys know what that is. But the stories are the things that really, really you can relate to, no matter where you're from and who you are. Because most of us, pretty much all of us, have been in back of a 5-ton before on the way to the range at 4 o'clock in the morning to go qualify with your rifle. And you hear some amazing stories in the back of those trucks sometimes, which I won't get into as well. But, some of the interesting things that I'll tell you, my first year I stayed in Okinawa, Japan. For me, that was a wake-up call for me to grow up, because I'm a mama's boy. And I was homesick for 3 months, my first 3 months out there. But I remember Sergeant Sheriff, and Corporal Scott, my 2 leaders, that really, really started the foundation of me being a leader. Because one thing Sergeant Sheriff says is you can't take nothing personal. Don't take anything personal in this life, because you'll go crazy. You'll go crazy trying to figure everything out. And it helped me out a lot, because I thought everything was there. People were picking on me, making me do push-ups and running around with things, and man, you guys are crazy. What are you making me do all this stuff for? And so, and Corporal Scott kind of just really, really helped me become a sharper Marine, all with my presentation and uniform and the way he led. And I thanked him for being the foundation of my leadership, because it shot me off when I came back to Camp Pendleton. I went to to Anglico, and I never ever wanted to be just a Joe Schmo Smuckatella. I wanted to be, not average and ordinary. I wanted to do something significant in the Marines. And so when I was checking in, back then it was called Shrig, now I think it's MSG. They were asking, hey, you want to go to these units called Anglico? So what do they do there? They jump out of planes and stuff. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool, yeah. Or do you want to go to this unit? I was a communicator, by the way. I was they changed it to 2531 to 0631, which is a field radio communicator. Went to 29 Palms, got my training done, then they shipped me to Okinawa. I came back, and they're like, well, do you want to go to just this radio battalion? It's called 9th Crime. Some of you guys know where that place is at. Like, no, it doesn't sound like the place I want to go. But they had a history of a lot of people getting in trouble there. Or this place called Anglico. Like, what's that? Well, they jump out of airplanes and they swim with the seals and stuff like that. Like, that's what I want to do. Not knowing what I was getting myself into, I found myself in the presence of a lot of elite Marines. And whoa, I need to step up my game here. And I remember Sergeant Warren B. Nickham. He came into my life, and with no smiles, it's like, you're going to get tested here to see if you got what it takes. Not just to be a Marine, but to be an Anglico Marine. And for those of you that don't know, Anglicos is like the hidden force recon. You don't hear about them. What we do is we fly in, and we get dropped off via parachute behind enemy lines, and we're hiking up to a hill, or what we call the observation post, some kind of OP, where we can have eyes on the enemy. And all we do is call in indirect calls for fire, whether it be from artillery, from the naval gunship, or from the sky. We're the experts, we're the pros, lance corporals, sergeants, 1 lieutenant, team of 6 Marines out there all on our own to be the heroes of the battle that nobody ever recognizes. Because we have a little song, a cadence that we'd sing, where we have the grunt CO. I don't know if there's any grunt COs, or infantry guys here. We had him on his knees begging Anglico, save me please. So we get on the hook, we call in naval guns. 40 seconds later, we're having fun. Our radio operator called an airstrike, and the steel rained down in the middle of the night. Now the grunt CO, he got a Silver Star for leading his troops safely through the war. But we didn't get, I can't say, but that's okay, because we all know who saved his ass that day. And that just sums up what I did at Anglico, and I was there for 4 years. And I did a lot of different schooling, from going into the mountains and becoming a Winter Mountain leader, to, one was mentioned, I was a hearse master, where people get in a helicopter and you're either rappelling out of it, you're spy rigging, and that's where the rope's hanging down and people click in and it's a way of insert and extract. And just a lot of different things. But one thing Sergeant Sheriff told me, like, man, like one day you'll understand the madness. And what he meant by that, you know, I was a young Marine, I was a Lance Corporal at the time, and we did some things that, like, man, we get mad. Like, why are we doing this? This is dumb. And like, don't worry, you're gonna understand when you get older. And you know, before I left, Sergeant Nickham was still a sergeant, and I was a sergeant. I'm like, Sergeant Nickham, what happened? But he was a artillery guy. He was an FO. And that MOS, it promoted slower than us communicators, and I guess because a lot of communicators had a shorter lifespan in combat, and I don't know, but we got promoted faster. And before I left, you know, I understood him. I said, Sergeant Nickham, I understand what you told me years ago, that, you know, you'll understand the madness later. Because when you're put into a leadership position, sometimes you have to give orders and not explain why, because time may not permit. And I think that because in my life, you know, sometimes that's how it is. And it helps you cope and understand with life. And it's helped me understand my life and my role out here with what I do now. Now, I know a lot of you, you know, are kind of in the same boat as far as, you know, you're transitioning from active duty service to now in the big civ div. And some of you have been there for years. But I'll tell you, you know, in boot camp and throughout our careers, we go through a transformation. And sometimes it's a transformation not a lot of people understand. And it's all about mindset. Our mindset is just, if you could think about it, it develops a callus against pain. It develops a callus sometimes in its emotion. It develops a callus against fear. And some people don't understand it. And for other service members from other different branches here, they may understand what I'm talking about. But it's very difficult for service members to explain, for others to understand the things that these Marines before you have gone through. The transformation, and because you wonder why. You know, no matter where in the world, Marines, once they see each other and they found out one another, they're, oh, you're a Marine, and boom, instant bond. And it's kind of weird. It's cool though, but because like, you know, like, hey, that's my brother. I can count on this guy to help me no matter what. You know, instantly, I got his back. I don't even know the guy. He may be a criminal. I don't know. But there's a bond that you know, because we've gone through a lot of pain, sweat, tears, and blood, and it's something that we all respect. You know, and out of all the branches of people that go to boot camp, if you want to come to the Marine Corps, you go through your boot camp and you want to go to a different service, guess what? You don't go to their boot camp. You're good to go. But if you're from any other service, and you want to come to the Marine Corps, guess what? You're going to go through hell. You're going to go through our boot camp. Because you got to be forged through the fire to earn this title. It's not something that's given, it's earned. And I thank God for leading me down this path of becoming a Marine. Because, you know, no matter who we are, no matter where we're at, no matter what age we are, young or old, you know, and I seen the bumper sticker once before. It's like, you're not as mean, you're not as lean. Always United States Marine. Thank you very much.